Peter, just what you saw from your team's effort and the way they just battled tonight.
Really good. I thought we were just sharper with everything we were doing. It's a game that goes back and forth. It's tight. It's close both ways. I do think that we started to take control of the game, through the second, some good things in the third. We needed Chesty sometimes for some big saves. The overtime, I really liked the way we played the overtime. And on the attack, it seemed like we were three-quarter icing them a little bit. But it's a good hockey team. It was a good game. It went both ways and comes down to overtime and a shot. Good, he made a heck of a shot on that.
Up front.
Peter, that first goal seemed like so many things took place there. The physicality of Lafreniere.
Yeah.
And you guys kind of establishing that, and obviously the first goal for the series. Can you just speak to how critical that was, and to set a tone?
Well, I like the start. I like the first 8 minutes or so, 10 minutes maybe. We were good defensively and putting pucks behind them, trying to be physical. And again, it was a nice play in the offensive zone, and you end up tapping one in. So it was a great start. That was part of the start.
Stay on the right.
I think Barclay's goal started with defensive zone face-off win. Just how good was he at those little things tonight, and what did you see?
Well, his face-offs were really good at one point. We had a couple guys that were doing pretty good in the circle. He was one of them. And like I said, when Jimmy came out, we ended up losing the role of the bench to just to roll the four lines, and then it tightens up in overtime even a little bit more. And so just at that point it slipped him in, out there in the middle, and big face-off ends up coming down. He gets it across the blue line and just ripped it. It was a really nice shot.
Peter, speaking of shortening the benches, Rempe's joke that when 2 minutes left, you called his name. He was like, "What? Come again?" I think he said Jiminy Crickets was actually the quote he gave. What did you see from him that you had such confidence to just play him as much as you did in the third period and even give him a shift in overtime?
Yeah, well, I was trying to get some shifts. At that point, we were kind of locking on lines, the lines that they were rolling, and if they rolled their line on the goal, then it was difficult to get him out there. But I thought he had really good pace right from the start of the game. He was effective on the forecheck, effective putting it behind him, putting it in the other team's zone, staying down in there. I thought he came out and had a real impact, especially early on in the first period.
Right side, fourth row.
Peter, not just Rempe's line, but it seemed like from the get-go, everybody,
Yep.
the forecheck was more noticeable. How much of a point of emphasis was that coming into the game, and how much did you feel like maybe you guys dictated a little bit more tonight than you did in the previous game?
I definitely think that we still had chances last game. I said that, but there was things that I thought we could have done better. I thought the execution was better. I thought that we were a little bit more physical. I thought we made good decisions with the puck that led to a forecheck, and instead of turning it over on the offensive blue line, put it behind, go forecheck, turn things over inside of there, you're 200 feet away from your net. So there was some things that we did that I thought were smarter tonight inside of our game that allowed us to play more in the offensive zone, more the way we wanted to play.
Right side, second row.
Peter, can you describe Barclay Goodrow from a coaching perspective and what he means to a coach to have a player like that?
Well, when you get a player that can do everything, where a coach can rely on that person, that's a pretty useful tool in the toolbox. It takes face-offs, plays all three forward positions. You want him out there at the end of the game. If you're winning a hockey game, you can match him up against top lines. Brings physicality, brings leadership, brings a lot of qualities inside of our room. Great teammate, and so when you get a player like that, you appreciate it as a coach of all the things that he brings to the table. To see him score a goal like tonight is awesome, because his role doesn't always consist of that. It's not always in the offensive zone, and it's not on the power play. But when you see somebody who does so many other things that helps the team be successful, you're really happy for a guy like that when he can make a huge impact in the game tonight offensively.
Left side, third row.
Coach, can you describe how big of a swing in the series this was with the win?
Yeah, listen, every game is a page in the story, and the first game went down. Like I said, it was 1-0 all the way through the game. We had looks, we had chances, it didn't go, and so it goes to them. Tonight was the same thing. It's another page of the story. I thought it was pretty competitive game both ways. I did like our game better, and we ended up getting a big overtime goal to move on. So you definitely feel a lot better going down to Florida 1-1 than 0-2, and so it was a big win for us.
We'll do 2 more questions. Right side in the middle.
Peter, is there an update on Jimmy VC?
He's upper body right now and being evaluated, so we'll see.
Last question, left side.
Coach, you mentioned needing a couple big saves from Igor tonight. As a coach, when you have a close, tight game like this in the playoffs, how important is it to have someone like him in net?
Well, I mean, he's been terrific. He's been terrific this year. He's certainly been terrific in the playoffs. But, you know, at some point, and it happened both ends, I thought that there was good goaltending at both ends. Even last game, there was good goaltending at both ends. And both of these guys are good goaltenders. And so I thought that, you know, when you're trying to push last game and when you're trying to win a hockey game to make sure that you do put the win and it evens the series 1-1, you're going to need some saves. You're going to need some timely saves. And there was a couple big ones tonight where they got behind us, and you know, I thought he came up huge in a couple instances and made big saves. And that's what you need from your goalie. He's, you know, that's to me, that's a difference maker in a game.